What's going on, everybody? Adam here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Glacier Chain Cable Snow Tire Chain on our 2020 Toyota Tundra. So what we have here is a ladder pattern style chain, pretty easy to install, and it is going to be a relatively smoother ride compared to some of the more aggressive tire chains that we have for the Tundra. We are going to have spring rollers, so that's what's going to make that smooth ride. So it's not going to be the most traction you can get. Definitely a V-bar style is going to be one of the most aggressive chains you can get, but it's just whatever you want. Do you want a smoother ride but more traction, or do you want just extreme traction but extremely rough ride? It's all up to you, but this is going to be on the lower traction end and it's going to be a lot smoother. So pick accordingly. One thing I like about it is right here, right where our cables go over the sidewall, we do have a plastic little piece, so that's going to help wear away at that edge of your tire, which is always a plus. You just want to make sure that those tires stay good as long as possible because tires are expensive. So other than that, we don't really have a whole lot of metal in front of our wheels. So if you're like me, I'm a big wheel guy. I want to keep my wheels nice and pretty as long as I can. So with these, you really don't have to worry about it. The closest metal piece is going to be the little hooks on our tensioners, but they're not going to do anything. So even if you get into really deep snow, something pushes up against it, it's just rubber. It's not going to do anything. Another thing is they do come in a pack of two. So if you just want to put them on the back, you can. If you want to put them on the front, just grab two of them. They will both come in a carrying case like this. Both of them do fit in here. It's not the easiest to get back in there, to be honest. So just be mindful of that. But there's definitely other bags that I dislike more than this one, and that is definitely those canvas bags. They just rip all the time. This one's got a zipper and a nice little carrying case. So that is always nice to come with it. But what doesn't come with it is the rubber tensioner. So we will have to purchase those separately, which is all right, but you will have to keep an eye out and try not to lose it. I lose things all the time, but it does fit in the bag with both of the chains, so that's always a plus. Doesn't take much time at all to install these chains, so let's just go over that installation process with you now. First thing we want to do is lay out our chains and make sure there's no kinks or any tangles of any sorts. Another thing we need to make sure of is this lever. We want to make sure that's going to be on the outside of our tire because we will have to access that later. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead, grab the center of the chains and drape them over our tire. Make sure they're nice and even. It's kind of easy to do because we got rollers on there. Make sure they're nice and even, and now I will meet you around back to make our first connection. On the back, we're going to have a little spot for the extra little links here, and I suggest doing this in your garage first just to find out the best link to get the best fit. That is totally up to you. I think the best fit's probably going to be this one here, about third one down. But now I'll meet you around front to make our second connection. Next thing we need to do is remember that lever. We wanted to be on the outside of the tire. Well, now's the time. So we're going to open it up. That's going to move this a lot closer. And then we're going to do the same thing as we did on the back and just try to figure out exactly which one's going to be the best guy for the job. I think it's number 3. So now what we do is we pull this nice and close, and then we're going to take that little gap and fit it right there. And if we do have a little bit more excess, which we don't now, but if we did, that's what these are for. We can put the clips in there, so it's not going to be that much, but we don't have to worry about that. We have one more thing we need to do, and that is grab a rubber tensioner. And we just want to make sure that the hooks are going to be facing up and away from the cable, and we want to be as symmetrical as we can with these just to evenly distribute all that pressure throughout the chain and the tensioner. So next thing is the easiest step. Just go back in, roll over them a couple of times, come back out, make sure everything is nice and tight, and if it is, we're ready to hit the road. Well, everyone, that just about does it for a look at the Glacier Chain Cable Snow Tire Chain on our 2020 Toyota Tundra.